You probably didn't know that a few years ago, scientists discovered a virus with particles 12 times larger than those of the coronavirus. The spheres that fall from the sky, which are very mysterious. Scientists are ready to accept anything, but the fact is that many discoveries have been made in the sciences, and they can be terrifying. In this video, we will take a look at some of the recent discoveries and findings that scared all the scientists. Let's start. The structure of mammoths. Last year, archaeologists stumbled upon a rather frightening and large find. I'm talking about a record-breaking ancient structure made of mammoth bones, which was found at a Stone Age site near Voronezh, Russia. Circular Hot, as scientists have nicknamed it, is of incredible size. The structure's 12.5 meters across, and it was built from the bones of at least 60 mammoths. In addition, radioisotope dating is shown that the structure's 20,000 years old. Thus, it's the oldest building found in the region. Scientists believe the hut may have served as both a dwelling and a place to perform rituals. According to one version, it could represent a full-fledged temple to mammoths, which played an important role in the life of people of that time. This hypothesis is supported by the absence of traces of a roof over the hut. In addition, some of the bones from which the hut was built were not thoroughly cleaned. They must have rotted and exuded an unpleasant smell. This also indicates that the structure was hardly used for permanent residence. Unusual cave. In 2018, an international team of scientists discovered an interesting find in Kenya that amazed and even frightened. They stumbled upon 78,000-year-old artifacts in the Pangea City cave. The cave turned out to be unique because people had lived in it for tens of thousands of years. The total length of the corridors is about 1 kilometer, and the main hall reaches 100 meters in length. A few primitive stone tools of the era indicate the fact that the first people appeared here about 78,000 years ago. In the most ancient archaeological level, human activity is not very visible, but according to scientists, about 67,000 years ago, the first serious changes took place here. Many interesting artifacts have been found in the archaeological levels of this period, including arrowheads, stone blades, worked bones, and shell jewelry. Also, a 65,000-year-old bead was found here. This is the oldest bead found in Kenya. Scientists have found out that people had been using the cave for thousands of years. Here were found animal bones and tusks with carvings ranging in age from 25 to 48,000 years. 25,000-year-old jewelry made of eggshells and stone tools, which are about 10,000 years old. Scientists estimate that people left the cave relatively recently. No one lives in it now, but the local population uses it for burial of the dead. Virus. It's hard to imagine what could be scarier for scientists than stumbling across a new virus. After all, who knows what to expect from an unknown virus, right? Not surprisingly that a virus called pithovirus, found in the eternal ice of Siberia, frightened scientists. They stumbled upon it in 2014. Scientists discovered that the virus had been resting untouched in the cold for almost 30,000 years, and that it turned out to be a truly gigantic non-cellular infectious agent. Not only is it frightening, but scientists have found a virus that's been rested untouched for thousands of years. But also that the pithovirus found in Siberia is the largest virus in the world at the moment. It reaches 1.5 micrometers in length and half a micrometer in diameter. For comparison, coronavirus particles reach about 0.12 micrometers in length. Among other things, scientists found out that the pithovirus contains 5,000 genes. Again, for the comparison, the HIV virus contains only 12 genes. What's even more eerie? After hibernation for 30,000 years, the giant virus is still active and can infect amoeba cells. Many scientists believe that it's extremely difficult to get infected with this prehistoric virus today. Although, under optimal conditions, such a danger is still not excluded, and it's frightening. As if COVID-19 isn't enough for us. Mysterious balls. For the Vietnamese, the year 2016 began with an unusual occurrence on January 2nd. 3 balls of unknown origin were found in the northern provinces of the country. They weighed 250 grams, 6 kilograms and 45 kilograms, respectively. According to many locals, shortly before the discovery of the balls, they heard a noise coming from the sky. One object was found in a garden. Another hit a residential house, and the last one was found in a field. The military and scientists soon arrived at the scene and began to examine it to understand what had happened. A few days after the incident, scientists said it was likely that the balls could have been space debris. Was that true? Maybe the scientists were just frightened by the finds and decided to put forward the first version that came to their mind. After all, as it turned out, similar spheres have been found in other places all over the planet. In Africa, Australia, Latin America, Spain, and Turkey. And what's interesting in each case, people found exactly 3 spheres is in the case of Vietnam. Is it a simple coincidence, or do these spheres represent something that scientists don't want to tell us about yet? Write in the comments what you think about it and stay tuned, because further in this video, there are some more interesting and recent finds which frighten scientists and which are definitely worth. Let's move on. Unknown creatures. Antarctica, once again, confirms its title is the most mysterious continent on the planet. In February of this year, scientists from Great Britain discovered unknown animals on the sea floor beneath Antarctica's ice shelf. The strange sponge-like creatures were found during exploratory drilling on the Filtner ice shelf. Scientists discovered them by making 8 holes, the size of a tennis court in the area. The find surprised scientists, because until recently the Antarctic coast was thought to be devoid of such life forms. But scientists were not only surprised, but also a little scared, because at the moment they don't know what exactly these creatures are. The scientists said they might find other creatures in Antarctica. Well, scavengers and predators, such as fish, worms, jellyfish and krill, which live in complete darkness under floating glaciers. As the scientists specified, the discovery of new creatures deep beneath the ice shelf raises many ecological questions that cannot yet be fully answered. Mysterious painting. In 2020, archaeologists excavated the Coves Fem cave in the Spanish province of Tarragona. There, they discovered a mysterious prehistoric painting, which they dared to talk about only this year. It dates back to the Stone Age. Images of animals are engraved on it. The scientists were perplexed by the discovery because nothing of its kind have been found here before. The artifact is estimated to be at least 11,700 years old. To some extent it was found by accident, but it's not even this, which is important, but the fact that the find puzzled scientists. First, it was much older than the oldest human footprints found in this cave, which is quite strange and suspicious. Second, the artifact is represented with 6 images of animals. Scientists have not yet been able to identify 2 of them. 2 of the creatures turned out to be detailed deer, a male and a female. And the remaining 2 images are drawings of goats or cows, but there's no authentic interpretation of them. Scientists do not yet have an explanation of the functional role of the symbols engraved on the stone. Experts are still studying this ancient work of art, but so far they cannot say whether the drawings were made by the same person and whether they were created at the same time, which makes this very interesting and mysterious. Bubble. Frightening finds are found not only on land, but also in the sea. In October 2019, diver scientists were diving in northwestern Norway. They were planning to study the ocean in Oslofjorden Fjord, and they certainly weren't planning on stumbling upon this giant jelly-like bubble. Not surprisingly, it frightened the scientist because it looked very unusual, as if it contained the embryo of an alien or some unknown sea monster. Could it be so? And the scientists have stumbled upon something completely new? Actually, no. The divers indeed were a little scared when they first saw this bubble, but that's no wonder because it's not every day you stumble upon something like this. After circling around it for a while, they realized that the giant bubble is a protective shell for baby squids. If you look closely, you can see tiny objects moving around inside the bubble. These are the squid embryos. When the bubble bursts, they're off to travel the seas. As for the giant bubble itself, it poses no danger, but it looks pretty creepy. That's all, guys. Which find for this video impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you later.